Welcome! This video spotlights a diverse sample of the 66 proposals recommended by the Portland Clean Energy Community Benefits Fund Committee to the City Council in June 2022. The Portland Clean Energy Community Benefits Fund, or PCEF, is the first ever climate fund in the country that was created by and is now led by people of color. PCEF is tasked with reducing carbon emissions in a way that ensures benefits to frontline communities who have been historically excluded. PCEF has three primary funding areas: clean energy, workforce and contractor development, and regenerative agriculture and green infrastructure, in addition to an innovation funding area for projects that do not neatly fit into one of the other categories. All recommended projects meet the program's objective of addressing climate change and advancing racial and social justice. We thank the organizations whose project proposals offer a new vision on how Portland can tackle climate change in a manner that is truly inclusive of all Portlanders. Now, let's learn about our first highlighted project.
Hi, Pat Daniels, Executive Director at Constructing Hope Pre-apprenticeship Training Program. On behalf of Constructing Hope, Oregon Tradeswomen, Portland Youth Builders, and POIC, this is a historic moment to have 4 BIPOC women-led organizations receive funding as pre-apprenticeship training program providers. This is an amazing time that together we'll change the lives of 400 low-income Portlanders moving into green construction careers, earning a living wage that will not only support them but support families. The participants that we serve are 100% low income, 75% are Black, Indigenous people of color, 25% are women, and 25% are returning citizens, another way to say formerly incarcerated. This award will also increase partnerships for green construction in solar, weatherization, green roofing, and cross-laminate timber. Without partnerships, we cannot do this work. All of the construction trades actually support and have a green component, so they're supporting clean energy and energy conservation. Through the Portland Clean Energy Funds, the City of Portland is positioned to be a national leader in building equity. The construction industry is huge, so building equity is a huge demand, and this is something that we absolutely have to make change.
My name is Mike Bretto Jackson, and I'm the co-director of Leaders Become Legends. We are a mentoring wellness organization who mentors young adults through employment, wellness, knowledge of self, economics, health, education, financial literacy, and last but not least, ownership. We serve predominantly so-called African Americans, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The PCEF funding will help us acquire a building so that we can train our clients in solar panel installation, recycling, and also in tree planting. It will also give us a place to actually work with our clients through mental health problems they may be facing, cognitive therapy training, and also education. We look to serve at least 20 clients per year from that demographic. This specifically will help us with the PCEF funding in getting our clients trained in solar panel installation, waste management cleanup, hire more staff. We'll be able to provide stipends to our clients with this funding, and also just help them get educated on tree planting as well as different workforce development opportunities in the clean energy sector that most of our people are not familiar with.
Innovative Housing is a nonprofit, mission-driven affordable housing provider with about 1,000 affordable homes in the Portland metro region. We serve individuals and families struggling to make ends meet. We complement our housing with a robust resident services program designed to help our residents maintain their housing stability and use their housing as a foundation for success. IHI applied for PCEF funds for 2 projects that are in our current pipeline. The first is Anna Mann in the Laurelhurst and Kearns neighborhood, where we're repurposing a historic landmark structure to create 128 affordable homes that will house more than 300 people. The second is the redevelopment of Garden Park Apartments, where we are taking a tired 63-unit complex and turning it into 117 new homes, including 25 permanent supportive housing units. PSEF funds at both of these projects will enable us to incorporate energy-efficient systems and technology that will reduce our residents' utility bills, improve their comfort, and most importantly, ensure their health and safety during extreme heat events like the ones we experienced last summer. IHI views PSEF as a valuable partner, and PSEF funds as a critical resource to helping us create affordable housing that better serves our residents and reduces our environmental impact. Thank you in advance for your support and for all you do for Portland's most vulnerable citizens.
Hi, I'm Vivian Satterfield. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships at Verde. Verde is located in the Cully community of Portland, and our mission is to build environmental wealth in our communities through outreach, advocacy, and social enterprise. Environmental wealth means clean air and water, but it also means access to renewable energy and affordable utility bills. We like to work at this intersection of racial justice, environmental justice, and economic justice. So for us, an example of environmental wealth building is through our Portland Clean Energy Fund proposal for Cully Community Solar. In our concept, the idea is that we'll be able to build community solar within the Cully community, offering multifamily apartments the ability to subscribe to community solar. And then residents who cannot put solar on their own rooftops can then sell power back to the utilities to offset their utility bills. This partnership through Verde, the Bonneville Environmental Foundation, and Twende Solar is really innovative because we'll be able to provide these subscriptions to 150 multifamily and low-income households within Cully, and then be able to provide cooling technology to Dignity Village, which is in an adjacent site. This opportunity will allow for wealth building, energy bill savings, and most importantly, the ability to reduce emissions at a time in which we all need to be doing everything we can to impact climate change. And if we're successful in this model, which we aim to be, this will truly be a groundbreaking model and replicable for true community solar.
Well, my name is Matt Bartolotti. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer and Deputy CEO for Metropolitan Family Service. Metropolitan Family Service has been around for about 72 years in the Portland area. Our mission is to help people move beyond the limitations of poverty, inequity, and social isolation. We serve about 18,000 people per year. 2/3 of all the people we serve are from communities of color, and the median income of our program participants is about $28,000 per year. We're really excited to be here in this stage of the PSEF process because this project will help us do some really important things. The first thing that it's going to do is help us scale and modernize our Ways to Work program, which is a low-interest auto loan program. And this program has been helping low-income people get into reliable, safe vehicles with a reliable, safe financial product. And we've always wanted to connect low-income folks to the electric vehicle market, and it's been inaccessible until now. I think with the PSEF support, we're going to be able to make some big changes there. The other main piece of this work is to kind of modernize our AmeriCorps program. We've had a strong, robust AmeriCorps program for about 15 years, serving as many as 25 members per year. But we've always noticed an accessibility issue. Low-income people of color have had a hard time staying in the AmeriCorps program because the living allowance is just too low. And PSEF's commitment to a living wage is going to help us change that. And the last thing that PSEF will help us do is build a set of enduring organizational habits to center participant voice so that we better understand what low-income people want and need when it comes to climate change, climate resilience, economic justice, and climate justice. Over the course of the project, we're funded hopefully for 5 years. We're going to help connect 5,000 low-income kids and families to climate education, as well as connect about 300 people to low-interest auto loans for electric vehicles, and possibly even connect some kids and families with some e-bikes.
Hi, I'm Charity Fain, Executive Director at Community Energy Project. So, what does the word home mean to you? Home can be a safe place where you gather with family and friends. It's a place where you find refuge from the world. It can be all of these things where you have lifelong memories, both good and bad. For CEP's clients, it's all of those things as well. But unfortunately, the building that people live in isn't always safe, healthy, and efficient. And that's because the clients we serve haven't often had access. Who are those clients? Low-income households, women, people with disabilities, seniors, and Black, Indigenous, and other communities of color. You see, the programs for energy efficiency in particular were never designed to serve the communities that we serve. For example, if you wanted a water heater, you have to have money to access an incentive, which is kind of like a discount. But if you don't have money to begin with, you really can't access that incentive. And other low-income weatherization programs often rule people out because of deferred maintenance issues. But when we sat down as a group and started dreaming what PSEF could mean for us, we thought about programs we'd done in the past. So CEP, for about 20 years, had been doing weatherization and repairs, but because of funding limits, we really weren't able to do a whole home. So when we sat down at somebody's kitchen table with our staff, or we held a focus group, we really listened and talked to the community about what they wanted in their home. And it's only through PSEF that we've really been able to make these kind of dreams happen. So for the current grant, we're looking at serving around 40 to 50 homes a year with deep home retrofits, where we can take each home and make them healthy and safe and green. That might mean things like getting rid of old oil-heated furnaces, new water heaters that are electrified, and tackling some of that deferred maintenance like old roofs and electric panels. PSEF really is the partner that's making this happen for us, as other older funding streams would never have allowed this to happen. So when we think about a transition to the future, an energy transition, we no longer want to see communities that we serve, frontline communities, left behind. And with partners like PSEF, we're able to do that. You see, at CEP, we believe that everyone deserves a safe, healthy, and efficient home, regardless of income. And PSEF is making that mission a reality for us and for the clients we help.
Hi, my name is Pramodh Jacob. I'm a senior program associate at Fourth. Fourth is a nonprofit organization that brings expands equitable access to electric mobility. Our mission is to bring people together to create solutions that reduce pollution and barriers to access to electric mobility. Over the last 7 months, Fourth and our project team has interviewed over 60 community members, in addition to dozens of community and technical stakeholders, to create this project that combines clean energy and clean transportation to create investment in disadvantaged communities in Portland. We believe that these investments will equip our partner organizations to better prepare and to also benefit their community in the face of the climate crisis. While Fourth is not an equity organization, we're a mobility organization that believes we can only be successful by having a focus on equity. What that means for us is that we believe that these technologies need to reach underserved communities in order to have the greatest impact and to fulfill their potential. The proposal that Fourth submitted to PSEF is called the GEM project. GEM stands for Green Energy and Mobility. This project combines elements of clean energy and clean transportation to create climate resilience in underserved populations in Portland. PSEF, in its guidelines, specifically outlines priority populations that the program seeks to help, and the GEM project does exactly that. The two partners that we've identified, which is Bybee Lakes Hope Center and Hacienda CDC, both work closely and benefit populations, low-income populations, people of color, women, trans people, and other groups that are marginalized and typically last to experience the benefits of clean transportation and solar energy. And through this project, we are hoping to serve thousands of people. For example, at Bybee Lakes, they have various programs that involve residents, houseless people staying in a short-term fashion. And they also have longer-term programs where residents stay for months and go through a longer-term process to be able to re-enter society and find employment, find housing. And this project could, impact thousands of people over the years because there's a steady stream of people coming into the center and graduating out. So, I don't have an exact number, but I can definitely say it's in the thousands. And with Hacienda CDC, there are going to be 300 residents at their newest affordable housing location, Las Adelitas. And our project will also benefit other members of the Hacienda community. We estimate that this number is close to 1,000 people. And again, over time, this may be more than 1,000 people based on people who enter Hacienda's community and who can be touched by our project.
Guatsi, my name is Tamara Henderson. I'm a member of the Laguna Pueblo tribe. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer for the Native American Youth and Family Center, otherwise known as NAYA. Prior to this role, I was the Director of Youth and Education Services, which is when we submitted this proposal, where we serve somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 youth per year, which can impact the lives indirectly of up to 10,000 individuals. We're the founding and largest part of the organization and work to bring people together, specifically young people, but are an intergenerational community. So we work to bring people together around our intergenerational ways of doing things by being sure we focus on cultural identity and education and using our elders, our young people, and our staff all to teach our students. So NAYA exists to enhance the diverse strengths of our youth and families in partnership with the community through cultural identity and education. And we do that work in a variety of ways, primarily through our culturally specific wraparound services that use our relational worldview model as the service delivery lens. That model really helps us keep in mind the balance that's important for Native people's traditional holistic ways of doing things, where we don't just think about what's happening over here, but we have to think about what's happening over here and over here in order to address what's happening here and to make sure that we get the outcomes that our community needs and deserves. The urban Native community deserves access to the land that NAYA is so fortunate to reside upon, which does happen to be a traditional trading village of the Chinook people called Near Chokuku. And that's why we named our project after the Near Chokuku trading village. So the Near Chokuku Food Sovereignty Program will become so many things to so many people. But most importantly, it will show our community that we do deserve these opportunities, even when we're living in urban areas. And I can promise you, if this program is funded, our youth are going to have more pride, which is a NAYA core value. They're going to have more of a sense of belonging. Their cultural identity is going to increase. And we have seen time and time again that results directly in their academics increasing and looking better. Attendance rates increase, grades increase. And then we see youth wanting to go to college, and maybe they'll be our next climate justice warrior, our next climate justice advocate, our next climate justice lawyer. You just never know. When you fund one Native proposal in our community, you fund people for generations to come, and you fund ideas, and you fund minds for years and years to come. So this project is a lot of things to a lot of people, but one of the things this project will do is really put our young people more at harmony in nature. It gives them more opportunity to connect to the land in a variety of ways. They'll be able to connect to the land by getting their hands dirty, by actually cultivating the traditional medicines, for example, sweetgrass or cedar, and getting the opportunity to grow a traditional medicine that you've maybe grown up with or maybe haven't grown up with. Get your hands dirty, watching that thing grow, and then be able to harvest and cultivate that very same medicine, braid the sweetgrass, feeling that between your hands, and then having the opportunity to gift that sweetgrass, that labor of love to someone is something that a lot of our youth have never had the opportunity to do. A lot of our staff have never had the opportunity to do. And that's something that's so special about this project, is we're really addressing our health disparities in traditional ways. We're going to be able to find a sense of belonging by being in the dirt and doing the work together and learning from each other and having that intergenerational way of knowing and learning be at the forefront of this service and this opportunity that we can provide. Our youth will be visioning out What does this space need to look like to meet my needs, to help me self-regulate, to help me focus on myself, my education, while focusing on my culture and learning new things about the ways of my ancestors? It's going to provide so many different opportunities for our elders to reconnect with their traditional ways of doing things and to teach. Maybe they're far away from their own grandkids, but they can teach NEA kids how to do things from their traditional ways that maybe they haven't been able to do for a very long time. Those opportunities will be provided, as well as addressing health disparities just in the physical movement. Some of our young people don't love traditional sports, some do, and that's great. But all of our young people will play traditional Indigenous games, particularly when they're provided the opportunity to have the right space, the right coaching, and the right tools to do that. And we can build some of our own tools right on the land that NEA is on, with this project being supported and funded. So I'm really excited, and I know a lot of people put a lot of work into this vision, and a lot of people will continue putting a lot of work into this vision so that we can bring to our youth the level of gardening, the level of farming, the level of sustainability, and the level of traditional Indigenous games, fields, tools, and resources that they deserve, because they do deserve that.
So my name is Victor Caesar. I'm the co-chair of the board of directors for Proud Ground. Proud Ground is a nonprofit based here in Portland, and our mission is to provide affordable homeownership opportunities with a focus on families. Our mission is to serve no less than 75% Black, Indigenous people of color. So funding from PSELF will help Proud Ground create 15 permanently affordable homeownership opportunities. And if we take, for example, that we purchase 3-bedroom homes, we would be able to serve 67 residents in the community. Additionally, we'll be partnering with the developer in a 6-plex unit, and 3 of those units will be set aside for Proud Ground families. So that's an additional 10 residents that we'll be able to serve. And really with this funding, the goal is to build permanent, affordable housing. And this is really an anti-displacement strategy, and all of these homes will be really developed with sustainability in mind, so net zero homes. And really it'll create an opportunity to bring some diversity to some of Portland's neighborhoods. Yeah, so really Proud Ground, we're metro-wide, we're really statewide, operating in Oregon and Washington, but with a focus on North and Northeast Portland, because that's really been a neighborhood that's been historically disenfranchised with various practices throughout history. So really we do have a focus in North and Northeast Portland, and we have a great team. Really they're out in the community building connections, meeting with folks, really just sort of explain like what a community land trust is and how that works, because it can be confusing, but really showing like sort of how it works and how at the end of the day, a family can really be an asset or a wealth creation strategy for families. Really what we're trying to showcase is permanent affordability, which is really an anti-displacement strategy, and net zero homes to really stick to our mission of being environmental stewards.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Portland City Council. Thank you for having us. My name is Eddie Hill. I'm one of the co-directors and lead director for land and sustainability at Black Food Sovereignty Coalition. Thank you for your time. Black Futures Farm is a founding farm program of the Black Food Sovereignty Coalition, a culturally grounded, roots to top organization focused on innovating our regional food systems, working in solidarity as Black African, Indigenous, and other POC food growers, policymakers, advocates, and educators to innovate and sustain local and regional food systems for marginalized communities in the Portland metro area food shed. Both Black Futures Farm and BFSC hold the mission of the Black Food Sovereignty Coalition to ignite Black and Brown communities, to participate successfully as owners and movement leaders within all aspects of the local food system through land ownership, placemaking, and quadruple bottom line economic development. Our programs and services actively work in solidarity with community-based organizations both locally and regionally, focused on improving Black, Indigenous, and BIPOC growers, producers, educators, and food leadership, while we deliver emergency, stabilization, enhancement, and agency food services in the area. Both Black Futures Farm and Black Food Sovereignty Coalition believe that it is vital for Black and African people and our communities to be fully engaged in building sustainability and resilience in the city of Portland. Our work in maintaining an environmentally sound food system is a key to attaining our freedom and independence that has long been promised and long denied. The intersection of environmental justice and food justice are inseparable for us. This project is an example of those principles, and we look forward to serving the city of Portland in the years moving forward. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Good day.
Hi, I'm Dr. L.M. Alaiyo Foster, President and CEO of the Black United Fund of Oregon. We are grateful for the funding opportunity afforded to us by the Portland Clean Energy Fund for our Building the United Futures complex, which will be located on the corner of 29th and Alberta in historic Alberta. The funding for this project would benefit untold numbers of people, given the intersectionalities of the complex and the way that we are looking at bridging communities and becoming a one-stop resource for Northeast Portland residents, particularly those who identify as Black or within the BIPOC stratum. The Building United Futures complex is a collaborative effort of community foundations, small businesses, other nonprofits, coming together in one space, being unapologetically Black, being unapologetically resourceful to our community and our constituents. So if an individual were to be looking for any number of services, the idea as it flows in my head is that they could stop at a front desk and say, I need help with this, and this, and be directed throughout the building. Now, they may not be able to get all the services in one day, but they at least know where those services are located. It's also a convening space for meetings. We'll have lactation rooms, a youth lounge, an event space with a rooftop aspect to it. It's just a place for us to kind of reclaim that our presence has power, and that, when we are resourced, we are able to achieve things for ourselves. It's not a handout. It's, equitable distribution of resources is what the Black United Fund is all about.